Okay, so I know you guys have probably either seen the clip or have heard about the clip where Trick Daddy, he said some things about women over a certain age that weren't too well received. I'll say it like that. For those who may not had not heard what said, let me get y'all up to speed. Trick Daddy, he's a Miami-based rapper who's about, I believe he's in his 50s. He was on a podcast with Nene Leakes of Real Housewives of Atlanta fame. And he said that he is no longer attracted to women 35 years and older. So 35 plus. Because the women within that demographic, he sees them as damaged goods. Damaged goods from past relationships. Now, I must say that whenever I hear men talk like that, especially in generalities, where all women are this or all women are that, but more specifically with his comment that women over a certain age, they just damaged goods from past relationships. The irony is never lost on me that they themselves, 9 times out of 10, talking from a damaged place themselves, they are damaged themselves. Something happened within their dating or married life has triggered them with a broad brush to come to the conclusion that all women are like this or all women are like that. Whenever I hear wide sweeping general statements like that, I always look at the source. And again, the irony is never lost on me. Because it sounds like he's talking about all women, and we know that can't be true. Anytime you talk about people and you put them in a monolithic type of situation where all people are this, all people, you're automatically wrong. Because we already know that no group is a monolith, including women. So not all women of a certain age act a certain way and this and that, and he's old enough to know that. But the fact that he's resigned to this stance on dating and resigned to this opinion, resigned to this perspective on women, I'm like, okay, so what kind of circles are you in where you're just attracting these type of hurt and damaged women in the first place? Not that he's asking my opinion, but he may want to re-examine his circles and who he's around and who he's attracting. Because again, even though opposites do attract, like also attracts like. So if you're damaged, you have the tendency of attracting damaged people because y'all got that in common, and hurt people and all this other stuff. We can go on down the line of that, but he may want to re-example who he's hanging around and why he thinks damaged women are attracted to him or he's attracting them. So not only did he say that women, again, women 35 and over, that they are damaged goods, but also that their standards are too high. So are you saying that women that are younger than 35, they don't have high standards? Like none of them do? Like anything goes? And again, why would that be a problem? High standards. What kind of high standards are we talking about? Are we just talking about standards in general? Because yes, I agree with him. Women 35 and up, they've been through a little bit of things and they already know what they want. With that being said, yeah, they do have standards, but you would want a woman with standards, I would think. But then again, depends on what you're looking for and what kind of standards we're talking about. We're talking about, and he also said that women within that group are too emotional. What's the standard? We're talking about crying all the time. We're talking about screaming because women are emotional beings. Yes, we are. Honey, we come out the womb emotional. Everybody cries when we come out the womb. We just hold on to it just a little bit longer. Plus, we got other stuff going on. Come on now. We don't need to break down the whole differences between men and women. We already know that women are more emotional. I mean, is that really a revelation? Is that really part of the list of the do's and the don'ts of dating an older woman? Labeling them as damaged or too emotional. Yeah, because younger women are not emotional at all. Again, who are you dating? But anyway, getting back to the damaged and high standards. Again, I don't know what women he's talking about. I don't know what group he's been around, but the women that I've seen, especially on the internets, we're talking about 40s, 50s, and over. I'm talking about women that got their bodies together. I'm talking about women that have their minds together at this point. They know what they want. They have their own money. They're mature, not only in their age, but I'm talking about an emotional maturity. I'm talking about beautiful, vibrant women that really got it going on. Again, I'm wondering what pool of women he's pulling from. Not not that I'm trying to sell the benefits of dating these women to him, because he's able to choose whatever he wants. But I got questions. When I first heard this, I had a load of questions. But then I started to think, I believe he's been married before. I think he was in a relationship maybe for 20 years and he's since been divorced. I looked on the other side of the coin. I said, you know what? Maybe he just wants a softer life right now. Now, hear me out. Just hear me out a little bit. Women that are 35 and up, most of them, they have a certain amount of discernment. And with that discernment comes wisdom and being able to see nonsense and crazy coming before it even knocks at the door. And therefore, they make their mates or their counterparts accountable. And maybe he just don't want that. Maybe he just wants peace and quiet. And he's been out there, for a minute as far as life and this and that, and married and divorced and dating and this and that. And he tired, boss. He tired. He just wants some peace and quiet and just a soft place to lay his weary bones and, not have a whole bunch of back talk and just, a whole bunch of sweet nothings whispered in his ear and not a whole lot of questions about where he's going and why he's going and when you're coming back and yada, yada, yada. Maybe he just wants to have fun. Maybe that's his definition of fun. Just someone who's going to go along to get along, Because most younger women, they're not really looking for marriage right then and there. So there's a little bit of time. So those under 35, you got a little bit of time to sort of just, string them along or just date them in almost perpetuity. You know what I mean? You got a little time to buy, before they start stirring up trouble with a whole bunch of pesky questions, like where is this going? At this point in life, he's probably just interested in someone who's interested in the same thing. Where it's not too serious, let's just have a good time. No titles, no real commitment, just some fun. And whatever comes under that umbrella of fun. He knows what he wants. He knows what he wants at this time in life, and he said what he said. So you know what? We ought to just leave him alone. The man likes what he likes. He should not be penalized for that. He's allowed to have his preferences. Yep, he's allowed to like what he likes. Y'all leave him alone. Him and Shannon Sharp and there's a couple of them out there. So this shouldn't be anything new. They don't like certain type of women, and age-wise, they don't fool with them. Trick Daddy said what he said, and he knows what he wants. Just like women that are 35 and over. They know what they want too. He is not attracted to anybody that is 35 and over. And guess what? We are A-okay with that. And with that, we are going to put a button on it.